Welcome to the Trendy Outdoorsman. This week we can't travel and we're working on a DIY smart home series. But in the meantime, we're cooking with the famous wild mushroom hunter. What are we cooking up this week?
I wouldn't say famous, just a fun guy. But we're gonna make some pizza. I think we're gonna throw some morel mushrooms on the pizza. So I'm gonna show you guys a quick recipe for something different, not your typical Pizza Hut, Papa John's. Something a little different and it's pretty good.
All right, stay tuned.
I'm gonna cook a pizza today, an artisan pizza, and I'm gonna show you how to make it. So there's a lot of different pizzas, a lot of different recipes. I make my pizza a little bit different. So the dough, the sauce, and I'll show you how to put stuff together. We'll go step by step. A little bit of a tip I'll give you to make the dough a little bit different is I use molasses in my pizza dough. It gives it just a little bit different flavor. So check it out. I'm gonna start putting this together. I'm gonna show you how to do it. All right, so what I got here is usually the recipe would call for 1.5 cups of water, regular water. Now what I did is this is chaga and turkey tail mushroom tea. Both mushrooms are very, very beneficial for your health. So sometimes when the recipe calls for water, if it's soup or whatever it is, I like to use something a little bit healthier if I can. Toss something like that in there and it'll be, you're not even really gonna taste it. They don't really have much flavor, but it's just, there's so many good compounds and nutrition in this, so it'll be better basically. So this is a little bit warmer than room temperature. It's about 105 to 110 degrees. So it's a little warmer so the yeast can rise. And I'm gonna do 1 tablespoon of olive oil, 2.5 tablespoons of molasses. If you put the olive oil first, the molasses doesn't stick to your spoon as bad. I'm just gonna go ahead and mix this up. I've got 3.5 cups of bread flour. I like to use King Arthur bread flour. I've got 2 teaspoons of pink salt and 4 teaspoons of yeast. So I'm gonna go ahead and add all the dry ingredients together. And I'm gonna mix them up. All right, so I'm gonna add this liquid into the flour with the yeast and the salt. And I'm gonna leave it set aside, covered with a towel for a couple hours, for 2 hours. I'm gonna knead the dough for a while. I'll do it for, I don't know, maybe 3 to 5 minutes. Just mix everything in kind of together. It's gonna get a little sticky on you, just not too much. And then I'm gonna put a little bit of olive oil on the bottom of this bowl, and it'll be easier to get the dough out from the bowl later. And I'm gonna cover it up, either towel or saran wrap, anything, and just kind of leave it for about 1.5 hours, 2 hours, let it rise. Cover it up and set it aside, about 1.5 hours. All right, I've got some morel mushrooms. My brother and his wife, they went mushroom hunting. They got about 1/4 pound to 1/3 pound of morel mushrooms, fresh morels. So this is my favorite mushroom to hunt, my favorite mushroom to work with, to cook with. So morels are usually hollow inside. They look like a sponge. They taste like filet mignon. They're excellent. So the old school way, a lot of people used to pick morels and they used to soak morels, soak them in salt water to get the bugs out. We don't do that anymore. So we tell people not to do it. It's up to you what you want to do, but a simple way to get the bugs out of the morel is just slice the morels in half and rinse them on both sides. But when you pick morel mushrooms, keep them clean, just keep your root ball in the ground, slice the morel off the ground, put it in your bag. We use mesh bags to carry morels. Plastic suffocates the morels that start to spoil, so carry a mesh bag or a basket, something that they can breathe. It's really important. But keep them dry. When you get them home, keep them in the fridge, keep them dry. That way they'll start to shrink up just a little bit, dry just a little bit around the edge, and that's completely fine. So these are really fresh and firm, so I'm not gonna soak them at all whatsoever. If your morels started to dry a little bit in the fridge, if they were in the fridge for, let's say, 5 days or whatever, so just put them back in water for about 5 minutes, 10 minutes, just perk them back up and use them, you know, as fresh morels. So I've been hunting morel mushrooms for many years, and I've developed a mushroom hunting bag There's gonna be a link below, check us out. Slicing these things in half. See, there's a spider. So instead of soaking them and making them mushy, we're just gonna slice them in half. We're gonna rinse them off, and they're gonna be ready for cooking. When you work with wild mushrooms, wild edible mushrooms, make sure you cook them. There's people that's been poisoned by eating raw morel, so morels have to be cooked. All wild mushrooms actually have to be cooked. So I'm gonna put a little bit of salt on them. So what I'm doing is I'm slicing morels in half. I rinsed them really good. If it's a bigger morel, I quartered this one here. I put the sponge side up so the salt can get in the grooves a little bit more. So I'm gonna put a little salt on them, and then I'm gonna roll them in flour. So I put about 2 or 3 tablespoons of butter in here, and I put some coconut oil in there. You can use vegetable oil instead of coconut oil. And I'm gonna put morels down. They're starting to bubble, so I'm gonna leave them on for a few minutes like this, maybe 3 or 4 minutes, and I'm gonna flip them. All right, they've been on about 4 minutes on the one side. I'm gonna flip them over to the other side. Now they're getting nice and golden brown. This is about perfect. And I'll cook them on this side about 4 minutes again. So about 4 minutes on each side, roughly, on medium heat. So you want them golden brown and a little crispy. That's what you're going for. Try not to overcook them, but you're looking for that golden brown. They're almost done at this point. So I'm gonna wrap these morels up. They're basically done. They're getting crispy on each side. I'm gonna use a double paper towel over a plate to soak the grease up. I'm gonna go ahead and put the morels in. All right, it's been a couple hours, and this is our dough. Ready to go. And this is homemade pizza sauce. I love using homemade pizza sauce. We grow a lot of heirloom tomatoes, and I freeze them in regular gallon bags. They freeze really well, last a long time. So if you use good dough and good pizza sauce, your pizza, whatever toppings you want, your pizza's gonna be amazing. But I'm gonna add some hot sauce because I'm not cooking for kids. When I cook for kids, it's mild, but when I'm cooking for adults, I usually like to add some heat to it. And we're actually gonna do another video how to make homemade pizza sauce with garden tomatoes. And there's a huge difference when you buy pizza sauce in the store or you make pizza sauce with garden tomatoes. There's just amazing. I'm gonna take some flour and put it down. This is gonna be my working station. All right, and then I'm gonna cut a piece of this dough. Here's my first pizza crust right here. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put some regular cornmeal on the bottom. Just like that, and this way the pizza will slide easier onto the stone. We're from Ukraine, but Mamma mia, when you make a good pizza, you make a good sauce. That's a good sauce. Frankie, Louis, forget about it. That's a good sauce, a good pizza, huh? I'm gonna cut a red onion and the white onion. And I'm gonna caramelize the onions for a topping for pizza. I'm gonna use red onion and yellow onion. And I'm using red onion just to give it some color. But really any onion, we love onions, so we're gonna go ahead and use some onion.
Now, do you saute that in coconut oil?
I'm using coconut oil today. You guys can use vegetable oil, avocado oil. So the onions are cooking, and right now I'm gonna do some pork sausage. My brother got some hot pork sausage. We're gonna cook it up in a skillet. That's gonna be one of our toppings. It's been cooking for 8 to 10 minutes. And they're starting to change color a little bit. They're starting to get just a little brown. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add some Elmo seasoning. We really like the seasoning, it's really good stuff. So I'm gonna add some of this. Got a little smoky flavor to it. I'm gonna caramelize these onions, and we ran out of sugar, which is kind of cool because instead of sugar, we're gonna use local honey. Just not too far from here, there's a local guy that's got honey, so we're gonna use local honey. And to caramelize onions, so once they start to get brown just a little bit, I'm gonna add a little honey to them, about a couple tablespoons. And that's it. Now we're gonna turn the heat down, and we're gonna simmer everything for another maybe 7 minutes, just on the heat down. I'm gonna turn it to simmer. I'm gonna give it about 7 minutes. So the onions are simmering, and this is that hot sausage, that spicy sausage. Now, as soon as it got done, all of it got done, I've been just kind of breaking it up. I'm gonna shut it off, and this is done. You don't want to overcook it, it's still moist. As soon as it's done, I'm gonna put it to the side. That's one of the toppings. And the onions, we're gonna check on the onions. Different spatula. All right. I got about 3 or 4 cloves of garlic over here, and I'm just gonna chop them up, and I'm gonna mince them. And then I've got some butter in a skillet right there, and I'm gonna make some garlic butter. I'm gonna melt the butter, and just simmer the garlic in it for a little bit. So it's gonna be garlic butter, garlic infused butter. All right, so I've got some sausage, hot sausage, browned out right there and ready to go. Just got it done, not overdone. Literally, as soon as it got done, I took it off. This is caramelized onion, okay? And same thing, I just got it done and not overly done. They changed color, it's a little brown, not too much. Remember, we're still gonna cook this on a pizza, so I don't wanna overdo anything. Everything's just barely done. I'm melting some butter over here, and I diced some garlic. We grow a lot of garlic in the garden. A lot of tomatoes, a lot of garlic. So I'm gonna make some garlic butter right here. I'm just gonna simmer it for a few minutes, simmer it together, let that garlic soak into that butter. I'm gonna take some mozzarella cheese and grate it. I never buy mozzarella cheese. I never buy shredded mozzarella cheese. I always shred it myself.
Why is that?
It melts better, and they don't use as many fillers, yeah, when you actually buy it in the block and grate it yourself. All right, I've got all the ingredients ready. I'm gonna put this pizza together now. This is our homemade sauce with garden tomatoes. It smells really, really good. I'm gonna put the sauce in first. I'm gonna work it around the pizza. Those garden tomatoes, they really make a difference in the taste of your pizza, I'm telling you. And they're easy to grow. Love growing tomatoes. So again, we're gonna put sauce, and then I'm gonna come over here. This is the spicy Italian sausage. I'm gonna put some of that on that. All right. Caramelized onions. I'm gonna put some caramelized onions. Load it up. Love onions. All right. I'm gonna do a little cheese around the edge. And a couple of things that I'm gonna do a little bit of cayenne pepper and oregano. Right now we got this virus going around, so to stay healthy, garlic, onion, oregano, cayenne pepper. These things are very, very good. Very good. Just gonna do a little bit of heat there. A little bit of oregano. Antiviral stuff. This is really, really good stuff. Keep you healthy. Boost that immune system.
You can't advertise antivirals. Come on.
All right. I'm gonna do a little green. This is just spinach. Just slice a little bit of spinach. I'm gonna do a little bit of green for some color. I'm gonna load up some more cheese in here.
And this is mozzarella cheese.
Mozzarella cheese, shredded. Yep. I like using mozzarella. I forgot to bring goat cheese. I like using goat cheese on pizza. Or sharp cheddar. I also like using sharp cheddar. And this is just straight mozzarella. All right. Pizza is ready to go in the oven. We got the oven at 500 degrees. I'm gonna slide it right in. There you go.
And how long?
We're gonna cook it for about 7 to 9 minutes. So we're gonna check on it in about 7 minutes. I'm gonna make a quick garlic aioli while the pizza is cooking. This is olive oil mayo. Now we're making a few different pizzas, so I'm gonna make a little more maybe. Hot sauce.
What's that?
Garlic powder and balsamic. This is the garlic that I chopped earlier, and this is that garlic butter, garlic infused butter. I'm gonna take some of this garlic and I'm gonna put it in my garlic aioli. All right, so it's been about 7 minutes and the pizza is ready. Finishing touches for the pizza. This is the garlic infused butter. I'm gonna use this garlic infused butter and I'm just gonna brush it.
Ooh.
Yeah, right? Just like that. This is the garlic aioli. I'm gonna do a little garlic aioli on it. This is balsamic reduction. All right, I'm gonna take some balsamic reduction, put it right on. And then we're gonna top it off with morel mushrooms.
That's like an extreme morel mushroom pizza. Hope you guys enjoyed that video. Next week we're gonna do another one. What do you think?
I think we'll do just a simple morel mushroom satay recipe. A lot of people ask me how to just simply prepare morels to really truly taste the flavor of morels, so I'll simplify the recipe. Just very, very common fried morels recipe and show you guys how that's done.
Perfect. Hope you guys liked the video. Like and subscribe, leave us some comments. We hope to see you next week. Thanks again.